next to it, and it's a very big neighbourhood indeed. It's 64 million square miles in size. It's 46% of the world's water surface, and it's 1/3 the total size of the world. There's 42 countries that either border with it or are island countries surrounded by it. It's home to people, make their home and live livelihood there, and also home to enormous amount of marine life, one of the most biodiverse places on the planet. But there is a problem, and basically, you probably guessed already, it's humankind, the people being up to doing wrong things. So there's many issues from human activity, but I'm going to focus on one. It's pollution from plastic. Humanity has been treating the Pacific like it's a sort of huge landfill, sort of endless landfill, but the ocean just can't absorb it anymore. So plastics are now becoming one of the most common pollutants in the ocean. The world is awash with plastic, and it's very durable, and that's one of the key problems with it. The weight of every person in the world there's that much plastic that for every person in the world, the weight of the plastic manufactured every 2 years worth is the weight of everyone in the world, I was trying to say. It's in our homes, workplaces, and cars. We wrap our food in it, we wrap just about everything in it. And that's led to the creation of something called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It's in the North Pacific Ocean, and it's just a seaborne plastic pile of waste that just accumulates more waste all the time. So what's it like? What's this Pacific Garbage Patch like? It's big. It's twice the size of the UK, about 500,000 square miles. It's probably one of the largest spots of pollution in the world. It's not exactly a huge island of trash, more like the plastic is broken down, it becomes like cloudy soup of small plastic particles. You do get trash islands up to about 80 foot long. They're full of ropes and fishing nets and buoys and things like that. And about 70% of all that plastic eventually falls to the bottom of the ocean. So where's the pollution come from? 80% is land-based, from poorly managed waste coming through ports and stormwater drains and things like that. 20% comes from on the sea, that's boats, oil rigs and cargo ships losing their containers and Lego blocks floating all over the place. So why is the plastic so hazardous? What's the issues there? Well, there's several reasons. One is that plastic takes a very long time to degrade. In fact, it can be a century-long process to degrade all this plastic to something less harmful. And while it's still plastic, and while it's degrading, it's harmful in some way at all times. One of the things is the marine life mistakes plastic for food. So you get hundreds of species of fish, mainly including bait fish, which eat the plastic and either they go malnourished or they either die from choking on it. Also, a lot of seabirds eat the plastic. It gets in the digestive system, they're malnourished, and often when they feed it to their chicks, the chicks die. The debris in the ocean blocks the sunlight to the algae and plankton that's where it grows down below. So there's less food for the fish and turtles and things that eat that material. And in turn, there's less food for the tuna and sharks and whales and people too. The plastics both leach out and absorb toxins. Through photo degradation, the plastic breaks down to small bits. When it does that, it leaches out colorants and other chemicals. But the plastics also absorb other pollutants from the seawater, and that gets them into the food chain. Plastics plastic products also entangle and kill sea creatures. So too many seals, dolphins and other animals get caught in fishing lines, ropes, packing bands, things like that, and end up suffocating or drowning. They can be injured and become disfigured from that. So that was the bad news. The even worse news is that the rate of plastic pollution seems to be increasing. It's more being produced and more of it seems to be going into the ocean. So if it's a big problem now, it's becoming even bigger. So what can be done? The patch is far from any particular country's coast. No nation's taking responsibility for it or providing the funds to clear it up. I should also mention that there are other garbage patches in other parts of the world, the North Atlantic and Southern Atlantic and the Indian Ocean. So it's actually everywhere. Cleaning it up is difficult. Nets would take out all the fish as well. There are some foundations that are trying to do research and figure out ways of dealing with it. There are some ideas, but I think one of the key things that needs to happen is the flow of waste into the ocean needs to stop. So I would suggest these ideas for yourselves. Reconsider the use of plastic products for something else that can be used instead. Avoid single-use products. Recycle. Encourage research. So just to end off, I would just like to say I think the Pacific is far too big and far too important to write off as a landfill dump, which is generated for the sake of convenience and for the lack of foresight. So please consider your own use and disposal of plastics and support the efforts of others. And just remember there's a large patch of